Remember Raygun, the breakdancer that performed so poorly at the Olympics she turned our country and herself into a laughingstock? Well, she's back and she is threatening to sue a comedian for telling jokes about her.
Well, in other news, the Aussie comedian behind the Raygun-inspired musical vows to get the show back on the road after the Sydney preview was cancelled hours before its debut. The Olympic breakdancers' legal team had threatened action over the show, claiming they're committed to safeguarding Rachel Gunn's creative rights and, you'll like this, the integrity of her work.
I don't know if I would describe rolling around on the floor like you're having a seizure at the Olympics as a work with integrity, Rachel. I myself am a stand-up comedian and we protect our own, so this video is going to be a big one. Because not only am I going to point out how, in my opinion, it appears that Raygun is lying in her public statements about the lawsuit and the apology that I may have forced her to make.
So this is why my management and legal team had to work so quickly to shut the musical down.
But I believe that I'm able to prove that she is lying because, through an anonymous source, I managed to get my hands on the actual legal letter that Raygun sent to Steph Broadbridge, the comedian, as well as the venue.
It was really unfortunate that the show had to be cancelled so close to the launch.
And let's just say the public statements Raygun has made to you to make herself look like the victim don't line up with the legal threats that she's been sending to comedians and venues across the country. I'm Lewis Spears, welcome back to the review. Like, subscribe, and let's hope I don't get sued for this. Before we begin, here's a recap that I posted on my Instagram that will become very important later.
Remember Raygun, the woman so bad at breakdancing it turned Australia into the laughing stock of the world and got the sport dropped by the Olympics entirely? Well, she's back to say stop laughing by suing a comedian for putting on a parody show called Raygun the Musical. Despite Parody being protected by Australian law, Raygun threatened to sue the venue as well, and now, like breakdancing at the Olympics, thanks to Raygun, it's been cancelled. In her legal letter, Raygun says the kangaroo dance is her intellectual property and that nobody else can perform it. You own the idea of dancing like a kangaroo? That's an interesting claim from a woman who did it 20 years after the Wiggles and 60,000 years after Indigenous people did. Although, to be fair to Raygun, unlike the Wiggles, she didn't do the dance with Rolf Harris. And as for your other moves, Rachel, I'm pretty sure Michael J. Fox has done most of these ones before, and I've definitely seen this move on Family Guy. Also, isn't your PhD thesis titled Deterritorializing Gender in Sydney's breakdancing scene? Your entire doctorate is about why women are struggling to get into breakdancing, and here you are suing another woman for getting into breakdancing. Seems pretty territorial to me, Raygun. Look, Rachel, you had a real shot at becoming a relatable, likable, funny part of Australian culture, but with this move, you've blown your second massive opportunity.
Earlier this week, a comedian named Steph Broadbridge announced that she has been threatened to be sued by Raygun's legal team after they found out that she was putting on a show called Raygun the Musical, a parody of her journey from before the Olympics to performing at the Olympics. Here's the poster that was used, and here's some of the promotional material. Raygun saw this and sent a letter to Steph Broadbridge threatening her with legal action, as well as threatening the venues that were putting on the show, and Steph had to cancel. Here's her response.
Steph Broadbridge. I'm just hanging out in my casual day wear. My trial show tonight for Raygun the Musical has been cancelled. Raygun's lawyers got in touch with the venue and threatened legal action, so we will be refunding everyone their $10 or comp ticket back. For that,
Raygun suing a comedian for trying to sell $10 tickets, some of which were given away for free, is maybe one of the most pathetic things that I've seen from an Olympic level athlete. And I've seen Raygun's performance at the Olympics.
and they were also worried that I was damaging her brand, which I would never do. She doesn't need me to do that. They also said I wasn't allowed to do the dance because she owns the kangaroo dance. That one did puzzle me. I mean, that's an Olympic level dance. How would I possibly be able to do that without any formal breakdancing training.
Steph goes on to say that Raygun has trademarked the poster that Broadbridge made, which will be important later, as well as saying that she has trademarked the Kangaroo dance, which will be even more important later. After these legal threats, Steph had to cancel multiple shows at multiple different comedy festivals. Now, I am doing multiple comedy festivals this year. Tickets are there. I know how expensive this is. You have to pay registration fees, you have to pay venue deposits. She may even have booked accommodation. All of that money, seemingly, she may lose out on because of Raygun's insecurity. After this video that Steph made, plus my video and a video by a few other comedians, the entire country has been made aware of Raygun's hypocrisy and inability to laugh at herself. She has done the exact opposite of what she was trying to do. It's also resulted in a massive amount of publicity for Steph Broadbridge. She's now doing interviews with every major news organization like this one on The Project.
So, Steph, last night was supposed to be your big preview night. What on earth happened?
Yeah, so we were all ready to go. We'd been doing rehearsals. I had a 8-person cast. I had band members coming from Canberra. And then I received a message from the comedy club that I was performing at that they'd had a cease and desist from Raygun's lawyers and we weren't going to be able to proceed.
I really sympathise with Steph here because I have had my live shows campaigned against by protesters, by powerful media figures, and it is so stressful because the decision for the show to go ahead is almost never in the comedian's hands. The comedian will almost always want to do the show, but the venue might be scared, the person running the room might be scared, the person running the comedy festival might be scared. If any one of these three or sponsors or more people say no, the entire thing crumbles and it's completely out of your hands. I've been very lucky where I've had people stand behind me, but it's not even surprising to see other venues not want to get sued or deal with a legal battle that even they know they would probably win in court. It's just not worth the hassle for the venue like it is for the artist.
To me, she's an Australian icon, a female Australian icon, a white female Australian icon, and I was like, I could play that. I'm very excited to tell her story. It wasn't supposed to be nasty or done with any kind of malice, and it certainly wasn't supposed to take place on the scale that it's taken place. This was meant to be very low-key.
It is very ironic that Raygun's lawyers tried to cancel what would have been, I don't know, I know the room she was performing at, I think it's like 100 people max for $10. So like, I don't know, $1,000 that wouldn't have recouped the flights of the band going over. They've managed to cancel that. But now, when this comedian manages to pull this show and put it back on the road, which I'm sure she will, I think she might be doing theatres because Australia's going to get behind her.
There's been a bit of publicity about it. We're talking to you about it on the show. I know that the preview got cancelled, but yeah. I mean, this might fire up again and it might be great for ticket sales.
I hope so. I hope it's good for ticket sales. I don't know how it's going to be for creativity if I'm going to have lawyers breathing down my neck telling me what I can and can't say on stage. That's going to be very frustrating, but we'll see how we go.
And I think as Australians, we should stand behind our comedians who want to make fun of powerful figures like people who are bad at breakdancing. So with that said, I would like to announce this unofficial petition, not endorsed or known about by Steph Broadbridge. We don't know each other, Raygun's legal team. Come after me, not her. This petition, let Steph perform. Sign the petition, tell the world that you want to see her show, and whenever she organizes whatever show she's able to legally do, I will notify every single person who signs this petition where to buy tickets, and we'll send a message to Raygun that you don't sue comedians because you don't like their jokes.
Well, do you have a message for her if she's watching?
Yeah, if you're watching, I just want to say I'm really sorry for all any negativity that you might have received as a result of this. I can promise you that was not my intention. This was supposed to be me trying to make you feel like the icon that I believe that you can be in Australia, and I just wanted to support you through it. So if there's been any negativity, I'm really sorry.
I really feel for Steph here. She seems like such a sweet person who, was trying to bring people into Raygun's story and lift her up with jokes, not belittle her or steal money from her or infringe her copyright. It's so not malicious. It's such a blunder of Raygun to do this because Steph is right. She could be beloved by Australia. Australians have done this before. Remember the guy that won the speed skating race because everybody else fell over? He was coming last and then he came first. We love that guy. We love that guy so much, and he sucks at speed racing compared to all the other Olympic athletes. But because he was a good sport and was just as surprised as we were that he won, we embraced him. Remember Eric the Eel? This guy who swam in the Olympics, even though he couldn't really swim, the guy almost drowned trying to complete the race. But because he tried, and because he was grateful for the opportunity, and because he was able to laugh and embrace the tongue-in-cheek nickname that the world gave him, you know what's happened in his country? He is now the face of swimming in his country. There are pools being built across his country that didn't exist before, and children who before would have drowned in a body of water if they stepped foot in one are now learning how to swim. He's become an ambassador for swimming. This could have happened for Raygun if she was able to laugh and join in with the banter. But she's so insecure that she's deciding to sue people instead. And if there's one thing Australians can't stand, it's people too big for their boots who can't have a laugh. It's crazy that she can't laugh at herself, especially when you look at how Raygun got into the Olympics. I mean, she kind of essentially won because not enough people signed up to the heats that she competed in. That's how she got to compete in the Olympics, because people much better than her didn't even show up to the trials. I mean, her being in the Olympics is like when Hamish Blake won the bodybuilding competition because no one in the weight class he entered in showed up.
Pick the right contest because he can't lose tonight. And all the other athletes in the show tonight, none of them came in as a heavyweight, which is 200 plus pounds. Hamish did. Mr. New York State heavyweight champion is going to be, whether you like it or not, number 11, Hamish Blake.
So now you're caught up to current day, and what's happening right now is the entire country has railed against Raygun and with Steph Broadbridge, with the Australian comedy community. It's amazing, right? So Raygun, because of all of this backlash, has been forced to release a soppy, fake apology that, in my opinion, appears to be full of lies, because I have her apology, but I also have her legal letter.
Hi everyone, Raygun here. I just wanted to say a few words about this Raygun the musical. The first we heard of it was last Friday, when it was a story in the Sydney Morning Herald and on Channel 7 News.
I'll stop her right there. So she says the first that she heard of this show was last Friday, which is the 6th of December. Remember that date. That's the first she heard of the Raygun musical.
We were totally blindsided by this. And unfortunately, the blowback was quick. People assumed that we had developed it, that we had approved it, and it damaged many relationships, both personal and professional.
What do you mean it damaged relationships, personal and professional? There's no way that anyone believed that this was actually her. And if they did, it would be clarified with a text going, nah, that's a comedian, not me, lol, read the poster. It's a parody. And parody in Australia, unlike a lot of countries, is actually protected in our copyright law. If this went to court, Raygun's team would most likely lose. But Raygun and her legal team know that Steph Broadbridge, venues, and many other comedians probably can't afford to go to court and have an extended legal battle to prove that they are actually correct and that Raygun is wrong. So they just have to fold. It's bullying and it's throwing your weight around, and it sucks.
So this is why my management and legal team had to work so quickly to shut the musical down.
You worked really quickly, did you? So Raygun's claim here, like I said before, is that she first heard about the show on the 6th of December. Well, let's see how true that is when we have a look at her legal letter. I was sent this letter by an anonymous source, and it says, urgent response required, 3 p.m, 6th of December, 2024. It was sent on the 6th of December, but let's have a look at when they probably started writing this, because I'm told that they received this email at about 11 a.m. in the morning. So you're telling me that lawyers found out about the show, did all the research they needed to do about the show, and wrote this incredibly dense 3-page long lawyer letter in about 2 hours? I doubt it. You know why I doubt it? Because I have here a screenshot of a post from Steph Broadbridge, the first post advertising the show. As you can see here, we've got the Raygun the musical, we've got the kangaroo pose, the silhouette, and when was this posted? The 25th of September. We can actually see exactly when Raygun's legal team trademarked the silhouette of the kangaroo pose that you can see on the poster. That's right, it was trademarked the very same day, the 25th of September. Ooh, what a coincidence. So you're saying that you only found out about this musical the morning you sent off the legal letter, but we have here evidence that you trademarked the silhouette after Steph Broadbridge posted it on her Instagram. It seems, in my opinion, that it appears that someone is telling a few fibs. You know who else agrees? The producer of the show and the guy running the venue. Here's what he put on his Instagram.
I saw Raygun's video about the musical I was producing and helping run. Basically filled to the brim with lies. She said she was blindsided by it, her and her legal team. Yet I've got proof here that they took the silhouette from the poster and trademarked it the same day, filed it, the same day the poster came out. So like, sure. And that was months ago. Yeah, blindsided my ass. But also, this is how you do a video without reading a script, especially when you're going to apologize to the indigenous people. My God, grow up.
Ah, anything. Oh, what's that date say? Ooh.
25th of September.
Ooh, interesting.
That's when it was filed.
Ah, oh, what's this?
25th of September. That's when it was posted by Steph.
Very interesting. Blindsided, you say?
Now look, I don't know if this silhouette is a photo of Raygun. If it is, fine. That's your copyright. Take it off the poster. Steph should be able to do her show. She can take a different photo of her in the costume, dressed as you, parodying you. That's completely legal. You can't cancel the whole show because there was some infringement around one poster. An infringement, by the way, that seems only possible because you copyrighted it after you saw her poster.
It was really unfortunate that the show had to be cancelled so close to the launch. I know the artist would have put a lot of work into it, and that really sucks.
A hot tip, if you are talking about someone wasting time, money, effort, and you stepping on their dreams, maybe don't smile when you're making this weird pseudo-apology where you just kind of justify your mean actions. Maybe don't smile when you talk about the harm you're causing another performer.
But had we known about it sooner, there could have been a different outcome.
Had you known about it sooner? You mean like when you filed the copyright claim around the same time Steph Broadbridge posted her poster? Seems like you knew about it way before you're saying you did. Also, what would that different outcome be? Well, let's have a look at the legal letter to see some alternative solutions that they offered Steph Broadbridge. Further to the online promotion, the musical is sold out, which is directly attributable to our client's popularity. I don't know about a popularity right now, but okay. The ticket sales are clearly a result of our client's influence and recognition. I would say it's actually because your client is quite easy to laugh at, and Steph Broadbridge is a good comedian, and it's comedy festival season around now, so that's why it was sold out. Also, she said she gave away a lot of free tickets. This was a trial show. So if your client is so popular, why were the tickets priced $10 and why did she have to give some away? Our client would like to resolve this matter quickly and amicably. To resolve this matter, our client requires that you undertake to immediately cancel the proposed show scheduled to be performed on the 7th of December, provide evidence that you've announced the withdrawal and cancellation of Raygun the musical by 3 p.m. today, 6th of December, only a few hours after they sent this letter, provide a comprehensive list of tickets sold and the total revenue made using our client's IP. And provide a list of all future dates, times and venues in which Raygun the musical was to be endorsed and performed.
I really do strive to support creativity and have loved the ways my performance has sparked so many different artistic interpretations. And there were so many fantastic memes that were clever and funny and creative. I have a whole folder of them on my phone.
Guys, isn't it amazing how cool I am when people use photos of me? It's so great. I love people using photos of me and getting creative with them. But if a comedian does it to make fun of me, I'll sue them into oblivion.
So not being able to take a joke is not what the issue is here.
Wrong. I don't think Raygun knows how to take a joke. I think this is the biggest lie she tells in the entire apology. I mean, just have a look at her reaction to Jimmy Fallon parodying her dance. Are you suing him, Raygun? Or are you scared because they've got more money than you do and you're worried that you wouldn't be able to afford a legal battle with a much bigger entity? Kind of like what you're doing to Steph Broadbridge?
I think the moment where I thought, okay, this is wild, this is now out of control, was when I saw the sketch on Jimmy Fallon. And it's just...
I don't know, man. Look at this face. Do you think this is the facial expression of someone who loves to have a laugh and doesn't mind jokes being told about her? Or is this like the narcissistic veil being cracked and we're seeing the darkness underneath? I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but that's generally not the face I make at comedy shows.
You have to wonder where Raygun is right now. Where's that music coming from?
What was going through your mind when that happened?
Mixed emotions, I think. Like, I don't know whether to like hug him or yell at him. I haven't actually seen the sketch because I don't think I'm in a place yet to watch it, but I will watch it at some point. And, you know, a few different people have kind of explained it to me and given me different takes on it.
He's doing your dance, Raygun. You better sue him. Because don't you own the kangaroo dance? Yeah, it's pretty clear that this woman does not want anybody making jokes about her amazing performance at the Olympics. So please don't write any in the comments section below.
This has also never been about the money. I have been contacted to go on just about every reality TV show out there, and I've declined big money because I'm not about that.
This has never been about the money. I wonder how true that is. Let us again refer to the legal letter that you sent. Our client has spent significant time, effort, and expense in extensively promoting and using her intellectual property, including her Raygun representation. The intellectual property rights accrued to our client have become a very valuable asset, and our client takes the protection of their intellectual property rights very seriously. Our client's rights and their intellectual property are very valuable. Our client will take whatever action is available to protect its rights. I don't know, in my opinion, reading through this, it sounds like money is very important to Raygun, especially when you see the actual threat of consequences that they hold over Steph's head in this part of the legal letter. Our client's choreography is an original dramatic work. In our view, if the choreography is used, our client will suffer loss and damage by reason of the infringements committed, including loss of a licensing fee. That's them asking for money to be paid for Steph to do her dance. But it moves pretty far beyond asking when you get to this part of the letter, the consequences. As such, our client will have a clear course of action against your company for copyright infringement. We note that in the event of a successful copyright infringement action, the courts may grant our client the following: A, an injunction; B, declarations of your company's infringements; and either B, damages, or C, an account of profits. We note also that the court may choose to award additional damages having regard to the flagrancy of the infringement. In this vein, please accept this letter as a notification of infringement should the choreography be used. Bumping that down from legalese to common man speak, they are saying, if you do this show and do our dance, we'll take every dollar you make. I don't know about you guys, but that sounds like it's very much about the money to me.
So I also want to take a moment to correct some of the misinformation. Yes, I've trademarked my name and my now famous kangaroo silhouette pose, which is being used in just about every piece of Raygun merch out there, which I'm not profiting from, by the way.
Again, may I point out that this kangaroo pose was coincidentally filed for trademark the very same day that Steph Broadbridge posted the poster of Raygun the musical. So this sounds true, but I'm not sure if it actually is. But to take a pause here from trashing Raygun, I would like to say that I agree with her. She should be protecting her copyright when it comes to bootleg merchandise. There would be a lot of people making a lot of money selling t-shirts with her likeness on it that aren't parodies, that aren't like comedic works, that aren't comment and criticism, not protected by copyright law. So in that case, if people are making hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars selling photos of your face, go for it, sue them. But if a comedian is putting on a parody musical about your life story, that's protected by copyright law, specifically parody, and you have no case.
In terms of the kangaroo dance, I did not trademark it or claim any trademark ownership of the kangaroo dance.
This is an important point, which we'll get into later, again, referring back to the legal letter, but this is a big point of criticism that I pointed out in my video that almost did 2 million views in a day, which is she's claiming to own the kangaroo dance, but obviously Indigenous people were the first ever people to dance like a kangaroo. They've been doing that for 60,000 years, and after them, the Wiggles did it like 20 years ago. You can't own dancing like a kangaroo unless you are, I don't know, a fucking kangaroo! I did get this one comment though from this guy going, oh, there's absolutely no evidence that Aboriginal people have been dancing like kangaroos for 60,000 years. I don't know, what do you want, bro? For them to pull out a camcorder in the year 58,000 BC? So you can film it? Like, do you think it's an absolutely wild, insane assumption to think that Indigenous people with no technology around them, surrounded almost permanently by kangaroos, wouldn't at some point look at one of them and be like, oi mate, see that thing? Huh? That thing over there, what do we call them? The kangaroos. That jumping thing. I reckon I could dance like that. Yeah? Show me. Fuck, mate, that's pretty good, eh? That's sick. That looks just like a kangaroo. I reckon I could do that too. I sure hope a white lady doesn't steal this from us.
And it in no way mimics Aboriginal dance. It was instead inspired by the Australian Olympic mascot, BK, the boxing kangaroo. I did not trademark it or claim any trademark ownership of the kangaroo dance.
That is a sneaky little half-truth, because again, if we refer to the legal letter, let's see what her lawyers have to say about the kangaroo dance, or, as they call it, her choreography. In the legal letter, Raygun says that she has trademarked this silhouetted and photo version of her doing the kangaroo pose as a logo or a trademark or like an example of her name without text, all right? That is true. Now, in her video, she says that she does not trademark or claim ownership of the kangaroo dance. Let's have a look at what they say about that, though. Our client's choreography performed at the Olympics was the culmination of over 10 years of training. Fuck, maybe you should have done 20. Our client has spent significant time, effort, and expense creating her choreography. You will recognize this Olympic-level choreography is a complex sequence of moves and techniques of which our client is the creator and author. Copyright subsists in this choreography as an artistic work. So while yes, it is technically true that Raygun has not trademarked the kangaroo dance, it is also true that she is claiming that she owns the copyright to the choreography of which within the kangaroo dance exists. For the layman, here's a quick little rundown of how copyright works for artistic work and why you don't have to trademark any artistic work to defend your ownership of it in a court of law. For simplicity's sake, I'm going to talk about drawing a picture. If I draw a picture, I automatically own the copyright to that picture because I created it. If I can prove that I created it, I own the copyright to that picture. If somebody else photocopies it and starts to sell it, I could sue them for copyright infringement, even though I never paid for a trademark, I never had to register it anywhere. It is my copyright, my intellectual property, because I made it. For example, this video that you're watching right now is automatically copyrighted by me because I've created it. It is my intellectual property. If you had to show up to a courthouse and pay a trademark registration fee for every single thought, idea, and creation that comes out of our heads, the court system would be bogged down for years. No one would be able to afford to create anything. So that's why this broad brush law of if you create it, it's your intellectual property exists. You do not have to trademark a dance, a song, a picture to own the intellectual property and sue someone else for infringing upon it. So while yes, it is true that she did not trademark the dance, she is still threatening to sue someone because she says they're using her intellectual property. It's splitting hairs and the effect is the same. You are trying to intimidate a performer by using lawyers to not perform your choreography, also known as the kangaroo dance.
And it in no way mimics Aboriginal dance. It was instead inspired by the Australian Olympic mascot, BK, the boxing kangaroo.
It in no way mimics traditional Aboriginal dance? I don't know, man. I've been seeing thousands of comments from Indigenous people saying that it actually resembles their culture very, very much. But it is interesting, Raygun, that you say that your dance was inspired by BK, the boxing kangaroo, which is owned by the Olympics, copyrighted and trademarked by the Olympics. Because again, if we refer to your legal letter and your legal team's words, that would be very dangerous to do. Copy an Olympic trademark copyrighted dance move? As an additional note, we have observed the use of the Olympic name in relation to the promotion, the production. Bit of a typo there. Maybe they really did write it in 2 hours. The International Olympic Committee? The International Olympic Committee? What am I saying? The International Olympic Committee is well known for taking unauthorized use of its name, marks, and insignia very seriously. They then reference a legal case where the Olympics sued Jake Paul because he was talking about the Olympics in a product without their approval. So here they are threatening Steph Broadbridge for talking about the Olympics, while Raygun herself talks about the Olympics in relation to the creation of her original work. One rule for me, another for thee.
Also, the court case they're referencing was not between Jake Paul and his drink Prime. They've confused the two Paul brothers. They clearly mean Logan Paul. Between all the typos and misinformation in this legal letter, it makes me think you found these lawyers from a discount bargain bin, Raygun.
Now, I know that this misinformation about the kangaroo dance has upset many members of the Indigenous community, and I'm sorry for that. And I'm really sorry that this hasn't been corrected sooner. I have the utmost respect for Indigenous Australians who are part of the oldest continuous living culture on the planet.
I'm so sick of white ladies talking down to Indigenous people. She literally says, I'm really sorry if you're offended because you've been tricked by misinformation. And if you believed it, you're just stupid. And I'm sorry that I wasn't here to save you by telling you what the actual truth is, you poor, misled Indigenous people. I also love how she's clearly reading from a script the entire time, like she needs words on a screen to remind her that she should respect Indigenous people.
Now, it's disappointing to see how quickly misinformation and negativity spreads. Please remember that just because you hear or read something about someone on social media, that doesn't mean it's the full story or even that it's true. Remember also that there is a person behind all this with a family, with friends, and who until a few months ago, nobody had even heard of.
I'm sorry, why are you playing the victim when you are the one suing a small comedian? Your PhD, like I said earlier, is about deterritorializing women and minorities in breakdancing, but here you are suing another woman for trying to get into breakdancing who, in her words, was doing it to celebrate you through humor. This is crazy that she's playing the victim. Also, yeah, we get it. You've become incredibly famous. That's what happens when you voluntarily sign up to the Olympics. This woman is acting like she's the Hawk Tour girl, like she just mistakenly blew up and became worldwide famous when she actually followed a very strict process to qualify for the Olympics and then decided to go on stage, in her words, knowing that she was going to lose.
So I'm really just trying to do my best to navigate this new chapter of my life.
I don't know, man. It sounds like you're doing your best to stomp down anyone for criticizing or making fun of you. Like, this behavior is crazy, especially in Australia, where our culture, we have a larrikin culture. We have a wide, deep, long history of creating parodies about significant culturally Australian moments. There have been dozens of musicals and parody shows like this. I can think just off the top of my head without even Googling it. I remember Chappelle Corby, the musical. Chappelle Corby herself had nothing to do with it. I remember Shane Warne, the musical. Shane Warne had nothing to do with it. He was worried about it, but he ended up going to see it and loved it. And that's why we love Shane Warne. That's why we love Chappelle Corby. That's why we love people being able to laugh at themselves and join in at the celebration of them through humor. It's an integral part of Australian culture, and if you can't play into that, we're not going to like you. And that doesn't mean that you're the victim and we're stupid for believing misinformation. It just means that what you're doing is unlikable and lame.
And for your understanding, and I hope continued support.
With that said, I want you guys to show some love to Steph Broadbridge, who hasn't posted for days since this, and I'm assuming, I haven't spoken to her, but I'm assuming it's because of the stress and all of the back and forths with legal teams. So go show her some love, follow her on Instagram, and please do sign the petition, Let Steph Perform, all right? It's in the description there. Also, if you want to come and see me, you can see me at louspears.com. I'm touring all over the place in 2025. I'm starting in Perth in January. And like Fergus Neal said here,
I didn't know you could trademark a dance move that you performed badly. I didn't know that was possible. Like, if I go to the Olympics and I do the Macarena, and I do it horrifically, and I get slammed by every media outlet in the country, and then 6 months later, a comedian does the Macarena, and I say, whoa, 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 whoa. That's my thing. That's what I do badly. Out of respect for comedy, I will be opening every night of the Perth Fringe by doing the Kangaroo.
I too will be starting off every single performance of my 2025 tour with an indigenous cultural kangaroo dance that definitely does not resemble Rayguns in any way, shape, or form. If you don't like that, sue me. I'm Lewis Spears. Like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon.